So I did my brows before off camera because that takes some time, but today we're going to talk about seasonal depression. Fun stuff. So we're actually going to talk about seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, also known as seasonal depression, and it's a mood disorder characterized by depression that occurs during a certain time of year or about the same time every year, and usually that's around the fall winter months because it's dark and rainy and depressing, right? So I wanted to talk to you about that today because in one of my last videos I said I was going to touch on it, and it's that time. We're there. We're definitely there. It is so sad outside, you guys. It's so rainy and just a mess. So while I do that, I'm going to do my makeup because why not? That helps me, that helps put me in a good mood. And so I thought that why not do my makeup while talking about depression? It makes sense, right? I'm going to spray my face first, and I will be listing everything I use down below. I'm gonna pretty heavily spray my face because I'm very dry because it's that time of year. I'm gonna spot conceal real quick, and let's talk about ways that we can help this time of year, shall we? So I live in Washington State, just to start. Spot concealing, but look what the heck. It's very haphazard, it doesn't even make sense. So I live in the Pacific Northwest. It's very dark. It rains a lot during this time of the year, and it's especially bad during the winter months. I find, can I talk and do this? This is crazy. I find that I just can't during these months. Like, I can't. Just kidding. But no, this time of year is really tough for me. It's just a hectic time of year. It's stressful, it's a lot, but also like the weather, it definitely does not help. And also, before I get into this tips and whatnot, I would like to emphasize I am not a health professional. I am not a mental health professional. I am just someone who suffers with depression from time to time, and even outside of seasonal depression. But I've noticed that during this time of year, if I don't take particular steps that I know help me cope with the environment I'm in, with this type of year, the weather, all that fun stuff, then I know that these tips help myself, and I think I would like to help someone else, someone out there. So that's what we're trying to do. So yeah, I'm not a health professional. The things I'm saying are not backed by, I didn't do any research on any of these tips. Okay? These are just regular things that you can do to help you. Hopefully. That's the goal, right? Spot concealed, looking cute, always. It's dry weather, so I'm going to be using Fenty Beauty again, but I'm going to be using the Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear Foundation, and the shade I wear and use is 420. My first tip is to go to your doctor and ask for a blood panel to check your vitamin D levels, because vitamin D deficiency is definitely a huge factor that just plays a huge role in that feeling of depression and feeling not good. So, well, let me get into the symptoms of depression. Depression symptoms include you lose interest in things that you used to love or enjoy, you have low energy, you have changes in your sleep habits or changes in your appetite, meaning you eat too much, you're eating too much, or you don't have an appetite anymore and you're eating too little. You feel sluggish or agitated at times, and there's this feeling of hopelessness and loneliness that you have. It sucks. It really does. I was feeling all of those things at a time, and it was a consistent thing in my life of just feeling low and just down. And so I went to my doctor, and the first thing I asked my doctor at the time, she was amazing, I asked her for antidepressant pills right into it. Just give me antidepressant pills. I am tired of feeling this way. I'm not in a good place mentally. Like, I'm tired. I'm done. Just give me pills. I don't even care anymore, right? So she's like, well, before we just jump into that, have you had your vitamin D levels checked? And I said, no, I have not. Frankly, I hadn't been to the doctor in a long time because I was depressed. Like, I couldn't really bring myself to go to the doctor all like that. And so, we got my labs done, and apparently I was incredibly deficient in vitamin D. I'll put on the screen somewhere my levels and then the normal levels, and she said that it was like so low, the lowest she'd seen in a while, or ever that she'd seen. Not the lowest ever in existence, but the lowest she had seen. And that it was very impressive that my vitamin D levels were so low, but that's probably why I was feeling so depressed. So I started taking vitamin D. I took a large dose. I don't remember. It was like 50,000 IUs, 50,000 something, and then it dropped down to 5,000 after a certain amount of time. Main story is I got my vitamin D levels checked. I did eventually still end up going on antidepressants, but I also eventually dropped off of antidepressants, and the thing that has been carrying me so far and feeling uplifted and well and like just overall good has been, I think, by adding vitamin D. I take it every morning with my breakfast. I think it definitely helps, and I could definitely see a difference. So there's that. I'm gonna conceal with Fenty again, the shade 385. The next tip I would like to say is to get sunlight or get light in however you can. It's hard to do when it's cloudy and rainy, such as today, but it's actually very beneficial no matter how little light it feels like you're getting sometimes, to just open your windows or something and get some amount of light in. It helps a lot. And when I was in college, I was feeling very lonely and just very depressed. It was rainy season in Seattle. It just looked, I would say, one of the most helpful things to me is to get natural sunlight, or there's also, some people use light boxes, I believe they're called, and that stimulates sunlight or natural light, and you can use those as well. I was thinking about purchasing one back when I was in college, but I didn't have the money. I don't think they're expensive, but I didn't have the money. The caveat to that, however, is that if you have migraines or you're light sensitive, getting sunlight or natural light and letting that in, it doesn't help, like, at all. So I used to have really bad migraines back in the dizzy. I was going through it before I went vegan. I used to have pretty bad migraines, and then I would try to let sunlight in at a certain point in time, just to brighten things up, you know. At a certain point, you get tired of being in the dark when you have a migraine, but it just didn't work out, quite frankly. It made the migraine last longer, and it made it worse. So if you have light sensitivity or something like that, then letting natural light in is not plausible. But if you are able to do that, then I do highly recommend it. If you're not able to, I completely understand, and that is valid, and that is a-okay. Next, I'm gonna set my concealer with setting powder, and I'm using Airspun translucent powder. And with that, I'm moving on to my next tip. My next tip is to get moving and get out of bed if possible. Even exercise if you can. If you can. I understand that when you're depressed and it's times like this, it is not easy to get out of bed. And if you're able to do that, I'm proud of you. Good job. You did that, babe. If you're not able to do that, that is okay. I have been there. You can try again tomorrow. That's fine. You can try again tomorrow. There's no rush. You can even try again later today. There is no pressure. If you can, get out of bed. I would recommend that. That's a huge step into just feeling like you did something today, you know? And that's good enough. If you can't exercise, as cliche as that is, I know, that really does raise endorphins and dopamine and all that fun stuff. It's a drag to get to that point to exercise, like going to get up to exercise. But once you're finished, you absolutely feel a lot better. So get up and moving if you can. I'm sorry if the lighting isn't the best right now. I do apologize. It's 4 p.m. on the dot and we're losing light fast, y'all. I'm gonna set the rest of my face. I'm gonna bronze the face with Ulta Beauty Contour Kit and move on to our next tip. The next tip, I would say, do something you enjoy. No matter how small it is, no matter how mundane it is, whatever. Do something you enjoy. Do something you look forward to. A TV show, it could be a hobby, it could be retail therapy. Even though depression, it's like things you used to like are now not as enjoyable, I guess. So even though those things don't bring you joy, find the something small that does. For me, it was certain TV shows would come on. That would be my one thing I'd look forward to. Or I used to get Ipsy bags, and that would be my thing, like once a month to look forward to. So I would say try to find something that you enjoy. Just gonna keep bronzing real quick. Or contouring. We're contouring now. Let's move to eyes. It's gonna be a very simple look today. I'm thinking I'm gonna do a red lip using the Anastasia X Jackie Eyeliner Palette. And I'm gonna be going into the shade Ginger. Next tip I will say is try having a routine or some sort of schedule that helps keep you on track and like keep you grounded basically, because when you're depressed sometimes you can lose track of time, you're unmotivated, you're just in your own world. Even if you have a routine, sticking to it, that's a whole other thing. So if you at least try to have some sort of routine to keep you structured and to keep you grounded and focused during certain points of the day. I'm gonna use Revolution Makeup Highlighter Reloaded and Time to Shine. Let's see what that does. I'm gonna put that on my brow bone. Let's see what it gives. There we go. Okay, I kind of like that. Next tip, aside from having a routine or a schedule, I would say it's very beneficial to talk it out with someone. And if you don't have a someone, journaling is, in my opinion, just as effective in getting your feelings and your words out. It can be very difficult to reach out to people, especially if you feel like you're burdening them or you would be pulling them down or something, you know? I understand that. So if you can't get therapy, which is so hard to find a good therapist, I feel like a cheaper and effective way is to also journal. And that has helped me throughout the years as well. Since middle school, journaling has been an integral part of my existence. I need more palettes, bruh. I'm going to put a matte brownish shade on my lid. This has no product on it. I'm just blending out those lines. Next tip will be, I would say, give yourself X amount of time to be under the weather or be sad. I believe for myself that that has helped a tremendous amount in giving myself permission to feel bad sometimes, because sometimes I feel like, I don't know if you feel this way, but sometimes I feel guilty for feeling down and sad and just being in the dumps, because it's like I could be doing XYZ, but no, instead I'm here depressed, not doing anything at this point. So I would say give yourself permission to feel sad or to just feel down. For me, that X amount of time is a day, and that works for me because that's for now what I'm comfortable with. But yours can be however long you need, honestly. But unexpected trials pop up. Who knows? Maybe I've had that day and something happened, and now what? Am I not gonna give myself permission to be sad? No, I'm gonna give myself that day something, you know, like give yourself the time and the permission to feel your feelings. Aside from the unexpected trials, you also have to deal with that time of the month, particularly. It's brutal. I'm one of those that breathes fire during like 2 weeks before my period even starts. I mean, that's not fair to the people around me. But I mean, that's realistic. And so like what you do is that during those times, I'm bawling my eyes out because I saw a puppy on a YouTube channel. Like, but sometimes you just have to give yourself permission to be emotional and to give yourself that space and say, okay, this is where I'm at right now today. We can try again tomorrow, but for today, I'ma just need the rest of this day, at least the rest of this hour, to get it together, and then we'll handle it from there. Sometimes you just have to do that because things happen. It is what it is. You're allowed to be sad when you're depressed, but depression is not all about sadness. It's more to it than that. But wow, those are my tips, huh? I'm gonna do blush. I'm torn between these two blushes. I have to deepen up this eye or something then, because that red's pretty intense. So those are my tips on the seasonal depression. Those are the things that have helped me personally in battling depression in general. It's not easy, but I feel like because of those tips and tricks, I feel like I'm ready to handle it this year. I feel like it's not gonna be as bad as it could be. Who knows? We're just kind of doing whatever at this point, if I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. So we're gonna put blush on real quick. I'm using NYX powder blush in the shade Cinnamon. I think rusty oranges look so good. When I discovered this, I was shook. I like that. But we're packing up on this blush because we love a blush moment. Oh, speaking of little things, like doing my makeup is definitely one of those little things that I do that I just enjoy, because the end result is just, it speaks for itself, you know? We should highlight. And I'm using Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Freestyle Highlighter Duo in the shade Moscow Mule, the really glittery one. Right there. That's a moment. We'll use Ginger Binge, because I'm a scaredy cat. We're gonna go in with mascara now. Alright, while I wait for that coat to dry, I'm using a brown lip pencil from NYX in the shade Nutmeg. I'm just gonna line my lips. I think I want to line them with red though. That's not giving me what I thought it would give. So I'm gonna try this Essence lip liner and see how that works. Okay. So the liner's on. Next, I'm thinking this red lipstick by NYX called Snow White. We're not done. We're gonna blot this. Oh, we still haven't fixed that yet. We should do that. I'm gonna take this kind of brush and see if we can use that, because I don't know. I've never used this type of brush, so let's see if it's... No. No. We're gonna just use some concealer. I feel like something could go in the middle. Ooh. Ooh. What if? What if? Does that match? Oh my god, I'm getting so excited. I'm gonna try wigglies in the center. Ooh. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. I like the way that looks a lot. I like the way that looks a lot. That was a good decision. 10 out of 10. So hair's done, makeup's done. This is the final look. I think it turned out pretty good. Hairstyle's cute, makeup's cute, lips, I did something a little different. I went with red, usually go with like a nude. When I first started makeup, all I did was reds, so this was cool. This was cute, little nostalgic. I've never done like a metallic-y red. That was fun. Shout out to what did I use? I used NYX matte lipstick in the shade Snow White, and then I used the Jackie Aina palette in the shade Wigglies. If you enjoyed watching, I appreciate you. If you didn't enjoy it, I also appreciate you, because you still had to click it to the end. But if you enjoyed, thank you so much. I hope this video was informative in some way. Should I span out? I should, huh? Hold on. Okay, I zoomed out, so hopefully that's fine. But if you enjoyed watching this type of video, if you enjoyed getting ready with me, if you want to call it that, we put some makeup on and I just, you know, beat this face real quick. If you like these videos, then please subscribe. I hope this was informative to anybody who is, one, living in my state or the Pacific Northwest, then you know what I'm talking about. I hope if you're just overall dealing with depression, I hope some of these tips helped you. I highly recommend going to a doctor and checking with them and just making sure that your vitamins and minerals and all those levels are together. All of the makeup that I use will be in the description box, and heck, I'll even list all the tips in the description box for you. So please check that out if you would like that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye guys.